finger code, whether I'm audible.
Hello and warm welcome to everyone joining us today. I'm your host Dalvinder Kaur from lovely Professional University. So let's dive into today's topic, biofertilizers and biopesticides, need of R for crop resilient agriculture. Before we proceed further, allow me to introduce the experts of the day. Dr. Adesh Kumar, Associate Professor, School of Agriculture, Lovely Professional University. His expertise lies in fungal pathology, mycology, and plant microbe interactions. Dr. Kumar has authored over 48 research papers, 5 books, 10 plus chapters, and hold 20 plus patents and 10 plus copyrights, honored with excellence in research and Young Scientist awards. Before we proceed further in today's session, I would like to request everyone for any questions you can write in the chat box or in the Q&A box, and same will be there from my side in the end of this webinar. So now I'm going to hand over this session to our expert, Dr. Adesh Kumar, and it would be an absolute delight to listen from him. Over to you, Dr. Adesh Kumar.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Tulvindako. So, hi, good afternoon, everyone. As my host addressed me, this is Dr. Adesh Kumar, and I'm going to discuss a very real-time topic with you, everyone, which has become the need of hour. As rightly said by the host, yes, it is about the biofertilizers and biopesticides. A little or more you have heard about it. So I'm going to discuss with you a bit details of the biopesticides and how and why. It is very important talking about these two components this time. So let us begin with, see, you everyone have heard of it that climate change, increasing population is a problem or is a situation today. And yes, what practices we are doing with the soil in cultivating, in harvesting our crops, a little or more you are informed about it. Since you are going to be the part and you are interested in knowing about agriculture, so it has become very uh, real time, it has become very live and valuable talking about this topic. See what you see in the picture, the farmers, they're working, they're doing some harvesting exercise, cultivating exercise in the farm. Yeah, you can't see their faces, you can't imagine whether they are looking happy or not, but as the topic goes on, as the discussion goes on, we would be knowing about it, talking more about it. I wish everyone that you critically see through the picture. What do you see here? One side, there is a scenario where we are using the machines, we are using the very advanced implements in cultivating the farm, and in the another side, yeah, there we are also using some machinery, but mostly you might have seen some other like a herd of animals and the very different crops, very different plants, vegetation you have seen. In your left hand side, you see that there is something which is lacking in today's scenario, and the left hand side means your left hand side, there is the possibility that you see the greenery, and if not, let me correct it. Yeah, where you find that most equipped and advanced equipments we are using for cultivating the farm, and also for the fertigation, for the application of the pesticides we are using it, there you find less greenery or no greenery. Means it has become the scenario today or in the days to come, it is going to be like this. But another side, You see that what we have been doing since decades, right? So there you find more greenery, there you find more liveness. That has been the difference of today's scenario and what we were doing in the past, and that I may call it the crisis of the modern agriculture. Because in doing these modern exercises, we have missed something, we have bet on something that is very, very important to discuss today. And what is that? In the next slide, I'll be discussing about it. But in this scenario, you see that where we are using the modern techniques, implements, we have made the soil toxic. We have made somehow the soil infertile, and we have made the soil somehow stressed. Yes. So, what we are supposed to talk about, and what is the missing component which may recover this, is talking about a biofertilizer, talking about the biopesticides. What does it mean, biofertilizers? Because we are using fertilizers over there on the soil to harvest more, to get more yield, but it's not bio. So what does it missing over there is the liveness. Something which is not live, which is not living, is missing over there, or somehow we have kept it out from our farm, from our field, from the soil that we are cultivating. So, from the definition, you might have seen this, that biofertilizers are those living organisms should have been there in the soil. And if we talk about the previous picture, okay, another side where greenery was more, those biofertilizers means those living organisms were there, the part of cultivation of the plant. So biofertilizers, now from the definition you understand that what those biofertilizers or those living organisms were doing with our soil, with our plant. They were helping us fixing so many related and required nutrients from environment to the soil, from soil to the soil, from water to the soil, right? And whatsoever we have given to the soil as a food, these microorganisms were there to work meticulously, tirelessly, okay, making those hard molecules, hard compounds into the useful compounds. From the picture you see here that biofertilizers, they are of different categories. You definitely have heard of some microorganisms names, at least like bacteria, like fungi, like viruses, and many more. So believe me, those organisms, and most of those uh, organisms, they have participated in the fertility, in the mechanism of the soil. So what they were doing and participating in the form of, as I just informed you, that they are either bacteria or fungi or they are viruses. So different microorganism is there to play different roles. When they were there, the part of soil, okay, in decades back. So they were doing these all many exercises like fixation of the nitrogen, fixation of so many other micronutrients, and the more importantly, whatsoever being fixed in the soil, they were making those elements, components in soluble form, so a plant takes it, right? You see through this that they were doing phosphate mobilization, solubilization, even some of them were doing that oxidation also. Sulfate oxidating bacteria are there. Means there have been so many nutrients If you have been an agricultural student or a biological student, so you might have heard those compounds in macro, micro, and terrace elements in the form of, so their nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. They have been very macronutrients, means needed by the plant in more amount. Then micro, there are so many elements that are required in the form, means in micro level, in less amount, but they are required to complete the life cycle by the plant. And like terrace elements are there, like molybdenum and so many others. So see, nitrogen fixation is a very important component which is missing these days, since we are applying nitrogen in the form of synthetic fertilizers. No bacteria, or very limited bacteria, fungi are there to fix the nitrogen. If I ask you to check your notes, like the nitrogen fixing bacteria, definitely and quickly you can say the name. You may tell the name rhizobium, isn't it? So rhizobium and many others like azotobacter, azospirillum, they have been playing great role in nitrogen fixation. Then phosphate solubilization, it has become a very critical situation this time, because whatsoever the chemicals we are using in the replacement of these bacteria, these fungi, they are not doing their job well, because after adding the phosphorus, there was another role of these organisms making this phosphorus available to the plants in soluble form. So somehow it is not there, because these bacteria, these fungi, and other organisms are lacking in the soil because of other man-made actions. Means we use not only the fertilizers but chemicals also. We have contaminated so many these sources. That's why it has become the need of talking about these microorganisms. They were playing the role, and they'll have to play the role. Yes. So in the days to come, we'll have to take care of this component in a great, with a great responsibility. Being a graduate, being a responsible person of the society, though you are doing farming or you are simply doing a kitchen gardening, right, under the rooftop or in a corner of your house. So it is the responsibility of each one of us. So they were doing nitrogen fixation, they were doing solubilization of the phosphate, of the potassium, oxidation of the sulfur, which is a very important component. And if you are a chemistry person, so you have been knowing that sulfur cannot be used by the plants as it is. It has to be transferred, shifted, modified into the oxides of it. Yes, so their oxidation is important, and bacteria play a role there. There are bacteria which play role in oxidation of sulfur. So it converts sulfur to first sulfur dioxide and then sulfate. Yeah, so the sulfate is easily available to the plants, and many more, like nutrients recycling, because these microorganisms help making the compounds and nutrients soluble. And many of these nutrients, they are the precursors, means they help activating another nutrients. Until and unless this one nutrient like sulfur is available in soluble form, the magnesium will not get activated. Yeah, since sulfur is also playing a role of a precursor for the magnesium. So this way, these microorganisms play a great role, key role in balancing, recycling, managing, mobilizing, solubilizing, and fixing so many nutrients from environment to the soil, from soil to the soil, from plant to the soil even. In some cases, like mycorrhiza does that, and water to soil. Yes, so many bacteria does that. Some fungi, taking example of aspergillus, you might have heard this pathogen, means fungus name, aspergillus. in many cases, aspergillus means the species of aspergillus, they act as pathogen, cause many diseases. But aspergillus, some species, they take part in solubilization of phosphate. Bacillus, which is another bacterium, take part in phosphate solubilization. Look into the point number two under the fungus, like decomposition. In case of nitrogen fixation, in case of solubilization, mobilization, oxidation, most of the bacteria were participating. But in case of decomposition, which is another component, raw material, raw stuff is decomposed, is transformed into the organic matter, which is done by fungus, which is an individual name, singular name, but fungi is a plural name. So many fungi does that decomposition of these raw material, means leaf litter, root parts which is left in the soil after harvesting of the plant, right? And many other raw material, so it decompose it into the organic matter. And you know that organic matter, yes, that carbonaceous matter is a key, is a living component required to grow the plant. Yes, that's why these bacteria and fungi are playing a very key role as a biofertilizers. Virus, I'll be talking in the next slides, okay? Because viruses generally not play a role in uh, decomposing, not play a role in fixation and or mobilization, solubilization, but they play another key role as a biopesticide that I will discuss a little later. See, once we take care of the soil with the help of biofertilizers, means the organisms which are already habitant, origin of the soil only, which we removed from the soil because of our action, man-made action, means by applying synthetic chemicals, yes, by doing harsh exercises, harsh mechanization. So we have done it, that you can see from my right hand side, that the degraded soil because of those weak exercises, weak practices. But another side you see that healthy soil where plenty of microorganisms available, working their exercises, doing their duties. Yeah. So because of that, you see that soil has achieved a good structure, texture, so which help in absorbing the water, which help in aeration, which help in absorbing the nutrients. And since the nutrients have been made soluble to the plants, to the soil itself, so you will find that these soils are somehow darker in color because microorganisms are doing their work. They are decomposing the raw material, leaf litter, root exudates, right, into the organic matter. So these soils become darker, isn't it? Another side, you will find it that the soils are light because they are lacking in organic matter. Because synthetic chemicals, synthetic fertilizers don't provide any organic matter, do not add in the amount of organic matter. So that's why it's become very important, crucial, talking and taking care of the biofertilizers. In the previous slide, when I was talking about the virus, I was letting you know about the biopesticide. So not only the virus, all those bacteria, fungi, even nematodes and insects, they are here playing as a biopesticide. You know that bio means is living pesticide that kills the pests and everything and anything which is disturbing the plant, which is letting the plant produce less, or which is killing the plant, is a pest. Be it is a microscopic thing like a bacteria, virus, fungi, another side, or an insect as well. So many of the insects are the pests. We call them insect pests. You might have heard this term, isn't it? So biopesticides now, since they are living, so they have produced, they have synthesized, right? Or they have taken from these living organisms, be it fungi, bacteria, virus, even nematodes, and they are not only the synthesized compounds, but completely, like an insect may act as a biopesticide, a fungus may act as a biopesticide. If I show you that, if you can see my cursor, the very first picture from the top left, you see that there are threads, white and green. So white thread is of a pathogenic fungus, means a fungus which is damaging the plant, and green one is another fungus which is parasitizing on that pathogenic fungus. So this is trichoderma. In the next slides, I will mention this name. Trichoderma is a fungus which mostly act as a biopesticide. So there are principles of working of this trichoderma. Three ways it works. So here it is directly acting on the pathogen, pathogenic fungus. Yes. So you can see here the coiling of green thread. I call it mycelium. So this green mycelium is of trichoderma. So it is feeding on another fungus. Yes, and as soon as its population increase, it will control this fungi, means this pathogenic one, completely. The next picture from the top, left to right, you see that is insect. One insect you see, you might have seen this insect. It's a very beautiful, colorful insect. The name is ladybird beetle. If you know, it's fine. So here you see that one ladybird beetle is feeding on many tiny insects. So these insects are aphids. Okay, after some time, during rainy season and after the raining season, the population is going to increase of aphids. So that time you will count naturally, and in the natural habitats you will see that this ladybird beetle, this red and black dotted insect, would be feeding on these aphids. So here I will call this ladybird beetle a biopesticide. Yes. Downside, you see from the left, an insect which is that this is one beetle. One beetle upside was acting as a biopesticide. Beetle is a pest of plant, and it is covered by a fungus. There is a fungus, Beauveria. The name of the fungus is Beauveria, so it is completely covered by that fungus. So this fungus acted as a biopesticide. The same way, an insect works, somehow, to some extent, this fungus has worked. Some formulations were prepared. So this is our scholar work which we have done in our labs. We have prepared so many biopesticides from plant extracts, and these plant extracts are working well against insects, against nematodes which are pathogenic, against bacteria and viruses and fungi which are pathogenic plants. So we have developed in our lab so many these biopesticides. friends, let me tell you that these pesticides which you see here, the process, all these biopesticides are patented. So it is patented work of art. Talked about it. Let us emphasize a bit more about this. Why these biopesticides? I'm calling them the need of art. You see that there is an ecosystem around each one of us. There is an ecosystem. You live in the village, you live in the urban area, so there is an ecosystem, a water reservoir, vegetation. You see that upside environment is there. Yeah. So where carbon emission and so many gases are emission released from different sources, and there these microorganisms were playing great role. But since we have killed those microorganisms because of our modern practices, yeah, uh, we have done that. Those practices, use those practices to grow more, to yield more, and to feed the stomach of the increasing population of country of the world. That is very much true. But the time is witness has witnessed greatly that during these decades, past 5 6 decades, we have degraded the ecosystem, not only soil, not only water, we have degraded the complete ecosystem because we have disturbed these microorganisms in the soil. They're doing so many exercises, not only the fixation of nutrients which is used by the plants, but the toxicity which is being absorbed by the soil from water, from the rainwater, from outside environment. It was being taken care by these microorganisms. But since we have decreased the number to a great extent, so the whole ecosystem was disturbed. That's why you have witnessed these days raining is less. Yes, you might have seen that the number of pollinators is reduced. The number of natural enemies you might have seen, means the people of my age and older, they have seen so many predators, means insects and many other predators of or natural enemies of many of the pathogens and insects. They were available nearby and around the ponds, water ponds, you know, the vegetation. They were available there, taking care of these natural enemies. But since we killed those all, we have contaminated the soil and the water we pour into the soil. We irrigate the soil. It is being leached down to the little strata and then drained to the water ponds, water reservoirs. There it is killing the animals, the organisms, the living being in the water. Then again, further it is draining out to the channels like the rivers, and finally it goes to the ocean. And you might have heard so many news that even the animals of and living beings of the ocean, they are getting died because through these ecosystems, isn't it? So you see here that to increase the yield, we have done everything this exercise. So what is the need of our to get back to settle down, think about it, to work on it, and start doing some reverse engineering It's necessary. Once we take care of organisms, has been disturbed by the man-made activities. Yeah. So says and shows that when we add microorganisms to the soil, when we add these biopesticides and biofertilizers in the soil, so how we can add those biofertilizers and biopesticides in the soil? By doing some organic exercises, by using less synthetic chemicals. So these biopesticides and biofertilizers, firstly, we'll have to add to the soil artificially because they are missing there in the soil. They are not available. See what this picture depicts here. It tells a lot story. Yeah, whole lot of messages are there in this picture. So what I have discussed till now, you can understand here with this picture. Yeah, because when the soil is happy, soil will be happy when plenty of and required number of microorganisms are there in the soil working. So many different exercises I have talked about. Means decomposition, it starts from the decomposition, right? Then solubilization, mobilization, fixation of so many required components, elements in the soil that are going to help a plant grow better. Not only to plant grow better, but these microorganisms, after these so many exercises, also help absorb heavy metals, toxic compounds, convert those toxic compounds into healthy compounds. Yes, so you can imagine. So once these toxic compounds are converted into healthy compounds or absorbed from the soil, they will not leach down to the water reservoirs and water strata, because that water is going to be used for drinking purpose back by the humans, and it is going to be drained out to the water reservoirs, water channels, finally to the ocean. So there another fauna is there available. So that picture was telling so many things. Here on this slide, I'll be speaking about that how these biopesticides and biofertilizers can be retained back to the soil. Uh, Guys, just give me a moment. Give me a moment. There was a technical point, so it's
No
okay. It's
problem, sir.
fine
You
now.
can continue now.
Yeah. So I was letting you know that we have discussed about it, stressed upon it, that why biofertilizers and biopesticides are there needed to get back, to put back into the soil. Now let me tell you that how we can put them back in our labs. What we do, we mass multiply those microorganisms. Before we mass multiply those microorganisms, we go to the soils where the number is less. We bring the soil samples. We also bring the soil samples from the very virgin soils, means from the forests, uh, from the root of the soil, or the old trees. We also brought samples from there. We isolate these microorganisms. We then identify those microorganisms, whether they are pathogenic one or they are the healthy one. To those healthy one, we further mass multiply, means we increase their number in the laboratory. Then we prepare the formulations. Yes, it it consider and contains a lot and whole lot standing procedures to prepare it, to make it. But in a layman language, I'm letting you know. I'm not giving you any means the chemistry of things. I'm not giving you the very technical things about it, but I'm letting you know and informing you in a very simple way so you understand it. Because to be honest, I'm a little aware of that the audience there. So most of you, I imagine that you are the students, completed your plus two, and few of you completed your graduation, not from agriculture, or from maybe you have completed from agriculture or from other streams, domains. So that's why I'm using this language. But in the discussion, if you ask, I may answer. So once these microorganisms are mass multiplied, we use some feelers, means like bentonite clay. There we mix it. We can use some organic stuff also, like organic matter, like farmyard manure or vermicompost. You might have heard of it. So that can also be used to mass multiply and to store these microorganisms. So further we test it. Once we store it, we test it for certain period of time, and once it is confirmed that this microorganism is able to retain, to sustain in the soil, so we apply it into the soil. There we do some exercises, means to this bare land and to this very stressed land, it's very hard for those microorganisms to grow faster. So what we and need to exercise is growing green manures. Yes, to let and to help these biofertilizers work well, these biopesticides work well, we need to help them first. So this is the point I'm to discuss here with you, that green manuring means we use some green manures that we mix in the soil premature, before, means we don't harvest yield from those plants, we just mix it into the soil. So it prepare a base for these microorganisms to grow in a faster way, because anyhow these microorganisms do need organic matter to grow faster, isn't it? So this way we do it. Now it has been done, means we have prepared it, mass multiplied it, now we have applied it into the soil as a biofertilizers and as a biopesticides as well. The same microorganism can work both way, acting as a biofertilizer as well as a biopesticide. For example, Pseudomonas, Bacillus, these are the bacteria. Aspergillus, a fungi, a fungus. So these are working in both ways, as a biofertilizer also in helping the plant to getting the nutrition after it is fixed, after it is solubilized, after it is mobilized, after it is oxidized, and to take care of the pathogens growing in the root area, in the stem area. So these microorganisms takes care and work in both the ways. So we have helped them grow by providing the good environment, the real time environment, and this is the need of our. This is the need of our, means for a few time, means for few years now down the line, synthetic chemicals can also be used, because otherwise there will be another challenge of yielding more, isn't it? I would be happy answering this question if you ask this question, because there is a logic about it. Why I'm saying this, that we should use synthetic chemicals also to some extent, not to as much as we are using these days, to some extent. Yes, so that would be my point. So finally, let me give you some stat also a bit about it. I was talking about the stat. What the stat is means, now the government of India as well, and if I take example of developed countries, they have started doing this exercise. They are focusing on organic farming. They are focusing on using biofertilizers and biopesticides more than they were using previously. But the government of India also has taken initiatives. Government of India has also posed some stress on the companies producing synthetic chemicals like pesticides, like fertilizers. So if you go check, I will suggest that you go and check the websites and the kind of products these companies are making now. So they have started talking about the biofertilizers and biopesticides. They have one section, one department which is solely working on the production of or research and development of biopesticides and biofertilizers. So it is very important that not only farmer can take care of it altogether. The government, by making the policies and by posing some restrictions on to these chemical producing companies, and obviously the chemical producing companies, they are there to play great roles. So alongside the chemicals they are producing, they can and they will and they are producing now the biocompounds, which are going to be used by the farmers. So here you see a farmer happy because this is the picture taken, a farmer using biopesticide in his farm. There have been
Sorry
so
for
many
the
such.
interruption, Dr. Adesh. Can we take questions now?
Yes, we can.
Is there any slide left from? Okay, thank you so much. Thanks
So
for giving me chance to address your questions. Now let's start with the first question. Gurpreet is asking,
yeah.
what are the biofertilizers? So stop sharing your screen first. What are the biofertilizers and biopesticides, and how do they differ from chemical fertilizers and pesticides? So stop sharing your screen.
Uh, that was the only concern of mine, that I let you know that what biopesticides and biofertilizers are. Uh, there is a difference between biofertilizers and biopesticides. First, let me tell you that these are living organisms which we take from the soil only. We isolate them, we identify them, we mass multiply them. We increase their population, and we apply those living organisms in the form of formulation back to the soil. So these are biofertilizers, means they are containing living microorganisms. Any form of the living microorganisms they are carrying. That's why we are calling them biofertilizers. And biopesticides are also they are carrying the living structures of the microorganisms, which is acting as a pesticide, not fertilizer. So one may act both way, means it may act like a fertilizer as well as a pesticide. How come it is different than a chemical? Because chemical, they are purely synthetic. They have developed, produced from the synthetic compounds, from the raw material. Means suppose sulfur. So sulfur is a chemical, and there are so many forms of sulfur which we use as a pesticide and fertilizer. So since they are not carrying the living organisms, so they cannot be called biofertilizers. So they are chemical fertilizers and chemical pesticides.
Thank you so much, Dr. Adesh. I hope, Gurpreet, you got your answer from our today's expert. So, Aman is with us. He is asking how do biofertilizers and biopesticides contribute to crop resilience and sustainable agriculture?
Uh, Stating that it is the need of our talking about biofertilizers and putting those living organisms back to the soil because their number is decreased to a great extent since we are using chemicals. So when these microorganisms are put back to the soil by those means I was talking about, yes, that mass multiplication and putting them back using organic matter and all. So these microorganisms take care of pathogens which is available in the soil. Pathogens are what? They are also living organisms. They are fungi, bacteria, viruses, and all. And these microorganisms which we are using as biofertilizer and biopesticides, these are also fungi, bacteria, and viruses. So they know their enemies well than a synthetic chemical. So that's why uh, when we use these biofertilizers and biopesticides, they takes care of these chemicals, and side by side they also help a plant to grow better by absorbing the nitrogen from the environment, by solubilizing the phosphorus, by solubilizing the potassium, by mobilizing the sulfur, oxidizing the sulfur, which is very much required for the plant to grow. So these microorganisms are taking care of all these components, making the crop management resilient in today's scenario. That's why these biofertilizers and pesticides taking and playing a key role in crop resilient agriculture. So
Thank you so much.
managing crop in a very organic way is crop resilience.
Thank you so much, Dr. Adesh Kumar. I hope all the participants got the answers from our today's expert. If anyone have any questions regarding the admissions, they just write on us at admissions@lpu.co.in. You can do WhatsApp chat with us. Our WhatsApp number is 985256900. I'm repeating the number. It's 985256900. Thank you so much once again to our today's expert, Dr. Adesh Kumar. As we come
Thank
to
you.
the end of this webinar, I want to express my deepest gratitude to our experts for sharing their valuable insights and expertise with us. Your presence, enthusiasm, and active participation have made this experience truly special. Hopefully, the attendees found this webinar to be valuable and will be able to utilize the information for better decision making regarding admissions. If anyone wants to access this webinar again, they can visit our website, that is lpu.in, or can be accessed on YouTube also. Stay connected with us for future webinars. Until we meet again, with the permission of my seniors, I would be signing off this webinar. Take care and goodbye. Have a beautiful day.
Best wishes to all the participants. Thank you.